Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Learn Languages HD audio podcast. We'd love to have you with us. Make sure to learn something new today and expand your horizons for a little bit. Today, we're going to do something completely different. I'm going to present you with my top 10 movies to watch. If you're tired, if you're just about to get on a vacation, or if you're planning a Valentine's Day or a birthday celebration movie night, since lockdowns don't really leave us with many options, many entertainment options at the moment. And movies are not only the entertaining content, but they also get to teach you a lot of things to inspire you and, after all, to help you with your English. So, all of the movies that I'm going to mention would be originally made in English, and you can find them online, or if you use Amazon Prime or Netflix, and wherever you plan to watch it, you can put on English subtitle. That will tremendously improve your that could tremendously improve your ultimately you can improve various domain of your English knowledge. How? If you're listening to the native pronunciation while you're watching the transcription at the same time, in the same time, simultaneously, you're sharpening your reading skills, your comprehension skills, and you're far more likely to actually attain certain expressions, vocabulary, and grammar structures. You're more likely to remember it and to use it. Why? Because you see the real life application of it. You see how those words are used in the context, in the situation, real situation, particular situation. And when you get into a discourse, doesn't matter whether it is written or spoken conversation, you can make great use of these. You're far more likely to bring up these expressions that you have learned because that's how our memory works. On the other hand, this lesson will teach you how to narrate and how to describe. So you will see how you can talk in English about something you like, how you can share your interest and express your opinions about certain topics. I believe this is extremely important because when you're learning English, not just for school, but these days these skills are even very important for school, but if you're learning it to apply it, if you're learning it to use your knowledge, then human interaction and making new friendships, starting conversation, so usually start with sharing a bit of someone's interest. No matter where you plan to use your English, at least one third of the times you would be asked to express yourself on certain topic. And I hope that some of the expressions and some of the structures I use throughout this lesson would be beneficial to your future experiences when it comes to English usage. Also, I hope that I gathered a bit of something for everyone so that I'm going to present different genres and that there is a possibility that no matter what you like, you could find something from here. So let's get started. It's very important to mention that I didn't actually list these movies in order of preference, which means that the first one I list doesn't have to be my completely favorite one from this list. And generally choosing the favorite one, like a favorite movie, favorite game, favorite song, it's tough for me, favorite book. So I always have lists of those things and I just bring them up in different situations. So the first one that I'm going to be talking about today is Green Mile. This one was produced in 1999 and actually scores very, very high when it comes to different websites and pages that are doing movie reviews. It lasts a little bit above 3 hours, if I remember correctly, and it's categorized as crime or drama. It also has certain elements of fantasy. However, I like to say it when I'm recommending this one to the friend that I'm not actually a great fan of crime movies and stuff like that. But if it's something that is of very high quality, you don't actually I don't mind it. And this movie, although even the cover page or trailer would not tell you, oh, this is a very relaxing and pleasant movie to watch, but it really makes great impression of on the person, and all those crime elements are not that present as you would expect it from the trailer or from the cover. In the main role, we have Tom Hanks. What it is about, movie actually follows lives of guards on a death row. And all the events actually start when they get a new man who is accused of child murder and rape. He definitely looks differently, and he has a mysterious gift that they will find out about. Whether or not this plot itself is attracted to you, I think that Green Mile by Frank Darabont, that is based on the novel of Stephen King, and I heard that it is actually based on the real story, will make a great impression on you because they bring up certain life lessons and topics like what is good, what is bad, who is there to charge, who is not. They definitely bring to the front moral and good and bad in people together. So I definitely believe this one is worth to watch whenever you um, feel like watching something like this. Another all-time favorite one would be a Lord of the Rings series of movies. It consists of three movies, as you may or may have not known. Lord of the Rings is actually based on the genius work of Tolkien. It's based on his series of novels with the same title, The Lord of the Rings, and it's directed by Peter Jackson. As I told you, it consists of three different movies. And if you're gonna watch it, I suggest to start from the first one and to go through all of these together. It also scores very high, and each of the movies I think lasts around 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, around three. I think three, a little bit below or a little bit above 3 hours. And it's really classified as adventure, as action, as drama, and half of a fantasy as well. The initial setting is in Hobbiton, the land of Shire, where hobbits live, and it follows one of the gifted hobbits on a very long adventure. Although this could be classified as something that kids should watch, like many believe that it's similar to Harry Potter, to me it definitely isn't. It brings up topics of adulthood and the problems of the civilization, problems such as greed for power, such as fate, and it really teaches you a lot of life lessons as well, but all blended into a beautiful form of extraordinary masterpiece, artistic masterpiece. So I cannot recommend it enough. I have seen all three movies at first, and after that, I was so moved by this one that I got to read all of the books and also to read Hobbit. There is a movie, Hobbit, that tells about the actions that preceded The Lord of the Rings, but chronologically, the way that movies were made, it came afterwards. So it was filmed and written after The Lord of the Rings, but it talks about things that happened prior to the actions in The Lord of the Rings. And that also is important to mention that I was not at all fan of science fiction, fantasy, or anything of the sort. But when I came across this one, I really didn't regret watching it. It got all my attention, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone. It's a win-win situation if you want to watch something with your kids. I think that both parents and children could enjoy this kind of movie. The next one on my list is actually the one that with the highest score on imdb.com. That's a website that reviews and rates the movies. And this one earned a grade of 9.3, and it's their top one when it comes to suggestions. It was produced in 1994, in the United States. And it's also based on the Stephen King's short story, Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, starring Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. It's an exceptional movie. And I would quote how IMDb actually describe it. Two imprisoned men bond over a number of years, finding solace and eventual redemption through acts of common decency. Here, you will learn. I have mentioned life lessons previously, but I think this one really strikes out. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but the stories that are brought up here would definitely teach you about things that you couldn't even imagine. So it's an this movie was an experience, a completely new experience for me, and also I cannot recommend it enough. On the cover of the Shawshank Redemption movie, it says, "Fear can hold you prisoner. Hope can set you free." So give it a try, and I sincerely believe you're not going to be disappointed. Next one is Eat, Pray, Love, movie produced in 2010 and with significantly lower score than all the previous movies. It earned just 5.8 out of 10 compared to the others who were all like 8.8 to 9 point something. It's starring Julia Roberts, Eat, Pray, Love. It's an amazing story. It was the first movie that I rewatched in my life. And I usually say to my friends that whenever I feel down, like at least once a year, I have to see this one again. It's like my feel good thing. If you're stressed about something or if you just want to give yourself a little bit of pleasure, I definitely recommend Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts as a main character. And this story, most of us can actually recognize a bit of ourselves in the story of Liz, the main character. She has perfect career. She's married to the man that she loves or the man that she once loved. She has an apartment and everything all of us strive to have in our life. She's very successful, but she feels deeply unhappy inside, and she takes on a journey to discover what troubles her and to change eternally, to find certain peace with herself. She travels to three different destinations. She moves from the United States, goes to Italy. From Italy, she goes to India, I believe, and her last destination was Bali. So in all three destinations, she experiences different purification on a different level. She also meets a lot of people along the way, and it's not only fun to watch but also quite emotional and inspiring. Another one on my list is Interstellar, made in 2014 and directed by Christopher Nolan. Back to the highly rated movies, this one earned a score of 8.6 out of 10, which is an amazing score for IMDb, and it's also incorporated into their list of top 100 movies ever on IMDb's list. And it lasts almost 3 hours and is classified as sci-fi drama adventure. To me, this was the first sci-fi thing that I fell in love with. What makes it special is that it's kind of futuristic. So it features uh, the land, the world in the future, where everything is dirty, dusty, there are where there is a lot of sickness around, a lot of lung problems from the pollution, where crops can't grow, and the civilization is about to face the extinction. So planet is about to die because there would be no resources in the world if they don't change something, if they don't find opportunities for life and signs of life on another place. They call a special astronaut, launch him into the space with his team to travel and discover life somewhere. What is special that this man actually leaves two children behind him and that he hopes to be home as fast as possible. But There we got to meet the wonders of physics and the mysteries of the universe, where they experience time differently, but they are sacrificing and giving their best to the survival of the humanity and to the survival of their children. That's as much as I can tell you about this one before I spoil it, but I believe it has beautiful message. It is very powerful and it is exceptionally created. So imagine how much effort should be invested into creating a movie that's all about traveling through space and time. So, how many effects and equipment and what else has to be added to it to create that sense? Christopher Nolan's another masterpiece. I really recommend it and hope you can watch it. Next one on the list is 12 Angry Men, which, believe it or not, was created in 1957. So it's black and white, and it's classified as crime or drama. But what it was special for me about it is that the setting is in one room. Everything that happens in this movie is in one room. There are no effects, there are no visual stimulation since it's black and white, and it's all about a story. But somehow you get really tied to it. Like nowadays, we are used to watching movies with so many sound effects, light effects. I remember watching The Incredibles 2. Yeah, I think it was The Incredibles 2. I was watching them in the cinema, and like the effects were so loud and so stressful to me. But this is something that really gets your attention. And it also earned a score of 9 out of 10 sharp. And something that stands on the cover for the movie is life is in their hands, that is on their minds. Basically, there is a group of 12 men trying to decide whether someone should plead guilty or not. And I think that this is a masterpiece since people still watch it in 2021, and still classify it as an outstanding work, although we have seen so much of the technological improvements in the previous years. Another one that I've seen as a high schooler is Good Will Hunting, created in 1997 in the United States, and it's classified as drama and romance. Like, yeah, it can be classified as romance as well, but it's not the main point of the whole movie. Will Hunting would be a janitor at MIT, prestigious MIT, but they realize after some time that he's extremely gifted as a mathematician, and he would be visiting psychologists to find his direction in life. Main roles, stars of the movie are Robin Williams and Matt Damon, so the cast is really outstanding. It's also classic, very highly rated. My absolute favorite genre of movies would be biography or documentary, although this one is halfway in between, like it's an acted movie created on the biography. So it's a biography drama created in 2001, and it lasts around 2 hours, a little bit above 2 hours, also highly rated. And it talks about John Nash, who is a renowned mathematician and who greatly contributed to the economics. So he's mathematician, asocial, and he somehow accepts secret work in cryptography. This one also talks about sanity and insanity, about the gifts and about the struggles of life that ones have to get through and the tough way to the greatness. It's both interesting to watch as drama, but also very engaging as a biography and very educative and informative. So, next one on the list would be Shutter Island from 2010, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It leaves a great impression. The mystery or thriller starred by Leonardo DiCaprio really is very impressive movie, the least to say. There is a U.S. Marshal in 1954, and he investigates the disappearance of a murderer who actually escaped from the hospital for criminals that are insane, the mental hospital for criminals. And it does have a bit of dark setting, we could say, but also sets you on a journey between sanity, insanity, what is good, what is bad. And it raises a lot of questions, but none of those get answered. And it's all on you to figure it out, to understand it. So it's very engaging, very moving, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who haven't seen it yet. The last one of my list, my number 10 for today, is Love Rosie. It's a beautiful romance movie and one of the best romantic movies for me personally. I don't want to underestimate romantic movies as a genre, romance as genre, but most of the romantic movies I've seen in my life did have some kind of similar story, similar beginning, similar ending, similar plot, and in most of the cases, similar cast. And although many of those I would classify as great and as very beautiful, this one is close to my heart because it's really different. It tells something that looks like a real life story. It follows a couple, young. It follows two people actually that fell in love very young, but their lives grow apart at a certain moment. The whole story follows their initial friendship and how that friendship that secretly was turning into love all that time evolved throughout the years. It's a story about life, and that's why I sincerely believe everyone should give it a try. So, those would be my 10. I hope you got inspired to learn English in a different way in our first episode. In the first episode of our podcast, when we were talking about the methods for learning English, we did say that engaging into different activities and different learning styles would give the greatest benefits and the greatest results. And that's why I believe watching movies, entertaining yourself while learning something for real would definitely make chance would definitely make a change and shift your perspective when it comes to the language education. Also, it would give you some pleasant and entertaining time and would change your perspectives and got you to think about certain things that you maybe haven't considered before. Hope you like them. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the episode as well. And we hope to see you in another episode next week. Thank you. Bye bye.